Have you ever received a beautiful review for your children's book? Or have you been interviewed or have received a well-deserved award for your children's book? If you have, then I'm willing to bet that how you shared this win with others could have been a lot more effective and a lot more strategic. And this is what this video is all about, how to leverage such a win and how to truly make the most out of every single one of these opportunities. And if you haven't yet, this video is important because once you do get your first review for your beautiful children's book, I encourage you to apply what I am about to share with you. Hi there, I'm Eevi, an award-winning children's author and ghostwriter over on eevijones.com and the creator of Children's Book University. I create videos specifically for children's authors, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my weekly videos. A while back, I made a video about 7 ways to stand out as an author on social media. And I really loved making this video because it had some actionable steps that you were able to take right away to really make a difference. And I really hope this video will do the same for you, providing you with ideas and actionable steps you can apply today. Whenever we receive reviews for our beautiful children's book, win an award, or are being interviewed for a podcast, blog, or magazine, we get incredibly excited. And we absolutely should, because we worked so hard to write our book, get reviews, and secure these interviews. But the question is this: why then aren't we doing more, much more with these reviews, interviews, and any other media coverage we are receiving? And when I say media coverage, I'm not just talking about big outlets. I'm also referring to a friend simply giving our book a shout out, for example, because any coverage is so helpful and supportive of our book. But beyond sharing these wonderful and well-deserved accolades with our friends and family via a post in places like Facebook or Instagram, we often don't take as much advantage of these beautiful opportunities as we should, could, and ought to. But we really should, because the more we share these things, the more people around us will become aware of our beautiful children's book. So today I'm going to share a few things I wish I'd learned much sooner. Things that will help with our own visibility, things that will ensure people continue sharing our work, things that will help build and strengthen connections with other fellow authors, and things that will help boost our credibility. And so in this video, I'm going to share the #1 mistake people are making when it comes to any type of sharing of their children's book. And we'll take a look at 5 examples of media coverage and how to leverage them to truly make the most of each. I'm going to share with you how to make the most of something we may have written for another site, like a guest post, for example, how to make the most of an interview we may have given, how to make the most of having received a best-selling banner or having won an award, how to make the most of receiving reviews, and how to leverage any shoutouts we may have received. Here's by far the #1 mistake most of us make when it comes to any type of sharing regarding our children's book. Once we've shared our children's book or any type of book-related media win, such as an interview, with a single social media post, most of us stop. For whatever reason, we think that sharing this media coverage once, that's all there is to do, that this is all we can do. But here is the thing that from now on, I want you to remember. Once you appear in an interview, once you receive a professional review, once you appear on someone's podcast, once you receive a beautiful shout out on someone's feed, that's when it's your turn, where you have to step up your game, because it is up to you to spread the word. How you leverage any type of media coverage of your book is up to you and no one else. Now, to show you what I mean by leverage, I'm going to share with you a couple of examples of how I have been leveraging some of my media coverage these past couple of years. Hopefully, this will get your creative juices flowing as well, so that next time you receive an amazing review or land a wonderful and highly anticipated interview, you know what you can do on your end to get the most out of this type of publicity. Now, no matter what type of media coverage you are receiving, always ask yourself this question right here. How can I make the absolute most of this opportunity? Media coverage and the type of opportunities I'm referring to here can be reviews, interviews for an article, podcast interviews, someone sharing our book on social media, book awards we have won, best-selling status of our book, and many more. So let's look at how we can leverage something we may have written for or about our children's book. My first example is a guest post I once wrote. I've written about the incredible power of guest posting in my book, How to Self-Publish a Children's Book, if you want to take a look or refresh your memory. But I believe in its incredible power to this day. Over the past few years, I've written quite a few guest posts for places like Scary Mommy, Business Insider, and Kindlepreneur. Kindlepreneur is one of my favorite blogs that I have been reading for years. So once my article appeared on this blog, I got to work to make the absolute most of this opportunity. Instead of just sharing it once on social media with my friends and family, I began sharing it all over. I shared it via email with my readers, I shared it on my website, and I still send people to this article to this day. So I didn't just share this guest post once, but really went out of my way to get lots and lots of eyeballs on it. Now, I could have just said, great job, Eevi. I wanted to write a blog post for this site and you did it. Congratulations, my job here is done. That's what most people do, right? And because that's what most people do, this is also where you can come in and set yourself apart from the many. And so sharing this blog post so heavily is what set me apart from others who also wrote an article for the same site. First, sharing this article among my own circle of friends and family and readers helped get the ball rolling, especially right after it had been published. Not only has this article been read tens of thousands of times over the past few years, but it has also been shared more than 2,000 times by its readers. Second, something many guest posters forget about is to check the comments section of their article. This is such a missed opportunity to connect with the article's readers as well as the blog owner. After my article had been published, I didn't just disappear. Instead, I continued to check the comments section and responded to readers' questions. That's why this article now has over 180 comments. This doesn't happen often on blog posts. It's helpful to readers and also won't go unnoticed by the blog owner. And third, because I continued to respond to people's comments, Dave, the owner of this blog, invited me to appear on his podcast. This in turn led to many more guest posting opportunities and podcast interviews because the owner of the site kept on recommending me to other influential blog and site owners, all without me having to ask him to do so. So once an interview or blog post goes live, instead of sitting back and thinking your work is done, that's when we want to step up our game. So to truly leverage this opportunity, do this. Once you've shared what you have written, share it again, and maybe even make it a little bit intriguing or enticing so people get curious and actually want to click that button to move over and read your article. Be sure to thank the blog owner for this opportunity to appear on their blog. Show your commitment by responding to the questions that may be asked by readers in the comments section below the blog post. Add your blog post to your media page on your website if you have one. If you don't have a website, be sure to check out my other video on how to get an author website absolutely free without any monthly fees. I'll be sure to link to it in the comments below. Depending on how big the blog is, add the logo as a credibility marker to your website. And when approaching other blogs, mention the blogs you have already appeared on. So when leveraging an opportunity such as this one, remember this: a podcast host or blog owner is much more likely to bring you back on or recommend you to others if they know you're going to share and are going to send some eyeballs their way. They gave you the opportunity to share your thoughts and ideas on their platform, so be sure to pay it forward by thanking them for the opportunity and by sharing it widely. So let's move to example number 2, how to leverage our interviews. Not too long ago, I was interviewed for a Forbes article. Last time I checked, this article had been viewed over 32,000 times. The average number of views of this particular Forbes contributor's last 20 articles is about 11,000 times, with many well below 10,000 views. So why is mine 3 times higher? It's higher because I shared this article everywhere. I shared it on Instagram, my Instagram story, on Facebook amongst my family and friends, my website's media page, and in my emails. I shared it with whomever was willing to listen, and the 4 main reasons I shared it were these right here. Number 1, because I was so incredibly proud of the fact that I had been interviewed for Forbes a second time. Number 2, because I wanted to make sure as many people as possible would read my article. Number 3, because I wanted Forbes to show my article in their selected featured section, which would generate even more views. And number 4, because I wanted to make sure that if I were to approach this contributor again in the future, she would be more than willing to interview me again because she knew I would send an incredible amount of eyeballs her ways. Besides sharing my feature to make sure I'd send as much traffic to this article as I could, there were some other things I did to make the most out of this opportunity. First, I updated my media bio, which I share in places like my website and my Amazon author profile. If you need help writing your own author bio or media bio, I went ahead and added the link to one of my other videos in the description below. Second, I added it to my media banner that is displayed on my website. Doing so instantly boosts my credibility with visitors of my site because they can see right away where else I have been featured or where else I have appeared. That way, people can always make sure that I am real and that I really am who I claim to be. And third, I added it to my email signature block. If you haven't yet, I highly recommend you add a branded signature block to your emails. This is such a wonderful opportunity to pique a receiver's interest no matter the subject of your emails. This is how I've gotten a number of author visit invitations without ever having introduced myself as a children's book author. My email signature did all the work for me. If you'd like me to show you in a quick video how I created this free email signature that automatically shows up at the bottom of every email, I've added a link to it in the description below. So to truly leverage this type of opportunity, do this. Once you've shared your interview, share it again. Thank the people who helped you make this article or interview possible. When sharing about it, be sure to tag them. Thank the contributor or the person who interviewed you. When sharing about it, again, be sure to tag them. Thank the photographer or anyone else who was involved in this feature. And again, be sure to tag them when sharing. Add your interview or feature to your media page on your website if you have one. Again, if you don't have one, check my video on how to get a completely free one in the description below. Add the logo to your banner on your website. Add the feature to your media bio and your email signature. And when reaching out for future features and interviews, mention those you have already appeared in. When leveraging an opportunity such as this one, remember this. Believe it or not, but journalists, interviewers, editors, and contributors don't often receive thank yous from people they have featured in their articles. So be the one that stands out in a good way and reach out to express your appreciation. They'll remember you for it. Plus, it's the right thing to do. Let's move to example number 3, how to leverage our awards and our bestseller status. Once I started winning awards with my children's books, I added award winning to my author bio. And when I became a USA Today and Wall Street Journal bestselling author, I added that to my author bio and email signature as well. Just like before, I started sharing these proud moments by adding it to my email signature, updating my author bio on my website, and updating my Amazon sales page. So to truly leverage this type of opportunity, again, do this. Once you have shared your incredible win, share it again. Thank the people who helped you along the way of publishing your beautiful children's book. Tag them in your shares. Thank any contributing parties such as your illustrator and editor. When sharing about it, be sure to tag them. Add your win to your website. Showcase your win in your media bio and your email signature. And again, when reaching out for interviews, weave your wins into your outreach message. So when leveraging an opportunity such as this one, remember this. Despite what others may say, people do often judge a book by its cover. This also holds true to any title people may hold. So be sure to showcase all that you have accomplished in terms of your children's book. Winning an award is a big deal, so be proud of it and share these wonderful accomplishments. Let's move to example number 4, how to leverage reviews we may have received. Reviews can come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Professional reviews from institutions like Kirkus. As a quick side note, because I get this question quite often, I do not recommend Kirkus. Number 2, reviews from friends and family. Number 3, reviews from readers we don't know. And number 4, the opinions about our children's book shared in places like interviews and podcasts. Reviews are extremely important, especially in the early stages of our newly published children's book. Every single review is treasured and celebrated by the author, so why not also share it? Sharing an especially beautiful review can often do wonders. It shows your excitement. It lets others know how important reviews are for authors. It may inspire or remind others within your circle to leave their review for your children's book as well. And it may inspire others within your circle to purchase your new children's book and perhaps to even share it. Oftentimes, our book is being praised in other places than those reviews already shared on Amazon. These reviews or praises don't have to remain unshared. If we can't get a certain review or public mention as an official review, we can always add those ourselves by making use of Amazon's editorial review section. And to show you how you can make use of this section, I have recorded a short video that I made sure to link to in the description below. So to truly leverage this type of opportunity, do this. If you have received a beautiful review, be sure to share this wonderful win on social media. You can even create a fun little image in places like Canva. Thank any contributing parties such as your illustrator and editor. When sharing about it, again, be sure to tag them. And if these reviews can't be submitted as a regular review on Amazon, be sure to add it yourself using Amazon's editorial review section. So when leveraging an opportunity such as this one, remember this. Unless people have written and published their own book, most often don't understand how important reviews are to the success of a book. Sharing your excitement openly lets them know how they can support and help you. And my last example is example number 5, how to leverage shoutouts. Now this one is near and dear to my heart, and that's because it comes out of the goodness of people's hearts. Not too long ago, one of my biggest article interviews went live with a major publication. In this article, I shared the work of fellow children's authors. I remember so clearly when, many years ago, one of my first books received a major shout out. I wanted to shout it from the rooftops and share it with everyone. That's how proud and excited I was. But you know how many of these authors I featured in this major publication shared it with their communities? 1. What a missed opportunity. What a missed opportunity to share it on their own social media, to share it with friends and family, to share it on their website stating that they had been featured in a major publication, and perhaps even connect with or thank the person for this opportunity of having had their book mentioned and featured. So to truly leverage this type of opportunity, do this. If you have received a shout out, no matter how big or how small, thank that person who took the time to do so, because if you don't, they will never ever do it again. Show your appreciation by resharing the shout out on your own media channels. And depending on the shout out, evaluate if you should showcase this feature on your website. When leveraging an opportunity such as this one, remember this. Anytime your beautiful children's book is being shared and mentioned, that person took the time to do so. These gestures are incredibly generous and should never be taken for granted, so show your appreciation and pay it forward. When it comes to social media and human psychology, here's something to remember. People love and appreciate nothing more than having any work they have created liked and shared. It's great for business, great for our self-esteem, and of course, in our case, for our children's book. This holds true whether this person is an author, a business owner, an entrepreneur, or even a celebrity. I'm sure you've heard this little sentence right here before. Sharing is caring. And it's so true, but many see it as a one-sided action, a one-sided type of sharing. But I hope that after having watched this video, you realize that we as authors can take this sharing to the next level by sharing that sharing, making it a win-win for everyone involved. For you, the person whose book has been shared, and for the person who was so kind to provide you with an opportunity or platform to talk about your book. If we elevate those who elevate us, we'll get so much farther in life. I really hope these suggestions helped get your creative juices flowing, giving you some ideas on what to do with all the amazing shoutouts you have been are or will be receiving. Momentum is important, so be sure to make the most of every opportunity you are receiving. And next time you see a fellow children's author share any of their wins, show your support. Give their post a like and maybe even a share. When it comes to being a children's book author, any author for that matter, connecting with one another is important. Supporting one another is important. We are not each other's competition. We are each other's allies and supporters. At least we ought to be. I hope you found this video helpful. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. It really encourages me to keep making free videos for you just like this one. Here's to making the most out of every shout out you're receiving. Bye. Helicopter.